Alright everybody, welcome back to another edition here of our SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 Modernized General Manager Mode. How are y'all doing? My name is Dominic, of course, and I feel like every episode of this series thus far has been, in the first half, everything's been going good for us, okay? We typically win that week in terms of the ratings, or at least most of the time, okay? Nothing bad happens to us yet, and then everything comes crashing down, and it hurts inside. We're not doing too good in terms of the rivalry stuff. And that sucks. We are just a few weeks away from Vengeance. And then after Vengeance will be SummerSlam, but we got a lot to build into SummerSlam. So, yeah, we're not doing too good. However, we gotta try to fix this up. So what I think I'm gonna do is all of these rivalries that suck, they are going to be basically ended tonight. Okay, we're just gonna finish off those rivalries on this episode. So in the main event, we're gonna have the women's title on the line. I guess an ultimate submission, since again, that's for some reason the only matchup that has any sort of stakes that you can have the women compete in. I'm not a big fan of that philosophy. I don't know what the hell the deal is with that, but we're gonna have it happen here. We're going to have a tag team match, and yes, this is going to be the blow-off for Keith Lee and Shelton Benjamin, because, really, this is more of a tag team feud. I didn't really mean for that to happen, but it is kind of more of a tag team feud. And then, hopefully, we can transfer this into it being Rob Van Dam versus Benjamin, and Seth versus Keith. Or at least that's sort of the plan in my head. Also, Shelton Benjamin's hurt, so like I don't want to put him in like a really in a bad spot. I don't want to accidentally hurt my boy Shelton Benjamin, because I like Shelton Benjamin. And then lastly, we're gonna have Daniel Bryan versus The Fiend. And Daniel Bryan, okay, maybe he's got balls of steel, but he wants The Fiend inside a steel cage, because I think that would be a lot of fun. And in fact, earlier on in the show, just, add some more lore, I guess you could say. Daniel Bryan, he's interviewed about this, perhaps, really stupid decision. However, down here, we're going to have another kind of feud-ending match in my head. We'll have, I guess, just a singles match, because, again, the women, for some reason, this game sucks. I don't know what the deal is. The game sucks when it comes to the women's feuds, but it's fine. It's a singles match, Mickie James versus Asuka. The winner of this match goes on to fight the champion. Also, we're gonna have another interview space. The Fiend in an interview space, but in my head, just to kayfabe-ize it, I guess. Interview space is really just a Firefly Funhouse in this segment. So the Fiend, before the steel cage match, he's got some shit to say. Match 2, we'll see Edge taking on Pete Dunne, with Roman Reigns as his manager during this match to help continue that feud between Roman and Edge, so that makes sense. And lastly, to once again continue the tag team feud that kind of doesn't exist right now, we'll have Xavier Woods and Cesaro fight in a tables match. And on Heat, because why not? It's on Heat, so it doesn't necessarily matter, but Melina will be taking on Bayley. But yeah, hopefully this is an okay show. I think it's a pretty damn good show, but you know what? We're going to see. Okay, a lot of feud enders, so we're going to see what happens. So, Melina beats Bayley. Xavier Woods defeats Cesaro in a tables match. Pete Dunne, of course, alongside, Roman Reigns, who's on the outside, defeats Edge, Roman's next challenger. Also, Edge is still hurt from that bar fight thing, if you remember that from the last episode. Asuka defeats Mickie James. So, of course, Asuka is now #1 contender for the women's title. Shelton Benjamin and Seth Rollins defeat Rob Van Dam and Keith Lee. I kind of didn't want that to happen, but you know what? It's fine. All of the feuds are now over. I'm going to say Shelton Benjamin pins RVD. And as such, Shelton Benjamin ends up in a feud with RVD. And we trade it off, so Seth is then in a feud with Keith Lee, going into Vengeance. The Fiend, pretty obviously as well, defeats Daniel Bryan inside the steel cage. And Sasha Banks beats Becky Lynch for the women's title. Huh. That's quite interesting, actually. I did not think that was gonna happen. Okay, Sasha and Asuka. That sounds fun. That sounds fun. We'll have Becky Lynch sort of in the background, though. I think Becky deserves that. Okay, she's gonna want to have her rematch. Maybe this is now a triple threat feud. Asuka versus Banks versus Becky. I think that makes sense. Mickie James can go on and fight, I don't know, Melina. We can have that happen. Maybe. That sounds like fun. However, what really matters are the ratings, and Raw plus 90,000. Okay, this is what I said before. First half always feels good. Then the second half, maybe not so much. But right now, we're feeling good. Hopefully the good feelings can kind of move forward. And now Shelton Benjamin, obviously, 100%. Oh, no, I didn't want this to happen. No, another one? Are you freaking joking me? Whatever, we'll delete all of these rivalries right there. Daniel Bryan versus The Fiend, obviously that feud is over, but here, we'll make these feuds real quick. Actually, Van Dam and Rollins are sort of doing good as a feud. Maybe instead, we'll have Seth and RVD continue their feud. Shelton Benjamin and Keith Lee can go off and do their own things. But, yeah, I think that's better to do that then. Okay, and then I also added Keith Lee versus Daniel Bryan, following Bryan's whole feud with The Fiend. So we got Bryan and Lee, we've got Roman and Edge, we've got Rollins and Van Dam, Mickie versus Melina, and Asuka versus Sasha with Becky Lynch sort of thrown in there. I think that is fine. But now we get back into it, right? So Roman and Edge, clearly for some reason, they're not clicking. So maybe if we do a rivalry in place of a match, okay, give the fans a bit of a break from that feud. Hopefully, they'll start to think, more about Roman and Edge. And then we'll also have a merchandise sponsorship because we haven't really focused on the money too much. But I know those contracts are going to be running out eventually. So we'll just have the merchandise sponsorship for now. So yeah, for the main event of the evening, just right out of the gate, we're going to have Big E, Xavier Woods, and actually Keith Lee, that's exactly who I wanted, versus Pete Dunne, Cesaro, and instead of Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan. It's like the game knows what I want, apparently. And then we're also going to continue this feud with Seth and Van Dam by having Seth Rollins, alongside Shelton Benjamin, as Seth, he wants to keep a close eye on Rob Van Dam during his match with Shelton. Before all that, we're going to have a tag team match as Asuka alongside Becky Lynch. Of course, Asuka's the #1 contender for the women's title. Becky Lynch, former champion. Will they coexist? Ooh, as they take on Sasha Banks and Bayley. And before that, we'll have more women's action with Melina taking on Mickie James, kicking off that rivalry. We're going to have a singles match. We're going to have The Fiend taking on Edge. We're going to kayfabe this a little bit like we do with typical Fiend segments. Edge, he's cutting a promo. He wants Roman Reigns. He doesn't care if the fans don't want this feud because this feud is what we freaking got. Okay, Edge is cutting a promo on Roman Reigns. And then who comes out but The Fiend, who attacks Edge. So, okay, we saw that, like a few episodes ago with The Fiend attacking Roman Reigns, perhaps, wanting the title. The Fiend with another attack, perhaps saying that he wants the title. Whatever. Okay, I'm trying to work with what I've got. Simulate all as Edge! Did not expect that. Edge successfully escapes from The Fiend's grasp in this promo segment. Okay. Melina defeats Mickie James as Bayley and Sasha Banks finally getting a victory as a duo, defeating Asuka and Becky Lynch. Of course, old rivals. Maybe they just couldn't work together that well. And Rob Van Dam, even though Seth Rollins is on the outside watching very closely, Shelton Benjamin loses. His disciple loses to his rival Rob Van Dam. And then main event of the evening, Daniel Bryan finally gets a victory alongside Cesaro and Pete Dunne as they defeat Xavier Woods, Big E, and Keith freaking Lee. So yeah, I don't think this is going to be a great show. I think we may have lost Fan change. Raw! Plus 90,000. Hey, that is... I expected us to lose there, but hey, we won! We actually did it! We're finally at an episode where 2 positive things happen. That's great. Okay, and the rivalries are sort of looking good. Okay, sure, obviously this is still looking bad. Hopefully we can somehow salvage something from this. But yeah, look at this! Even though we didn't have the first match. Oh my god, they only had 3 matches? No, that's not... What? Why is that a 0 match? I have never seen that before. A 0-star match. Wow. I've never seen that before. Okay. You know what? I'm happy. We're doing good. I feel bad for Brock and Gargano, who got this 0-star match, but hey, you know what? That's something. Brock has a 16 and Gargano has a 14. You'd think they'd get half a star from that, but hey, you know, okay. As AJ Styles, look at that. He's rising up the rankings. Look at that. He surpassed Johnny Nitro, a main roster or an end-game guy. That's pretty cool. However, ladies and gentlemen, as I go through the contracts real quick, let's go 5 weeks for everybody, I guess. As we go through the contracts, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe that this is a good time to end off this episode here on our SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 modernized general manager mode as I continue to do the contract signing during the outro. If you guys liked it, please let me know by hitting the like button. As I was saying, if you guys liked it, please let me know by hitting the like button down below. Comment anything you want to comment. Subscribe if you haven't already, but if you have, why not hit the bell to be notified of everything we do here on Grapple Nation. Of course, my name is Dominic, and have a good day. Bye-bye.